And what do we have here? A VEVOR. Could this be a thing for the thing? Let's take a look. Nice thing about a truck is that it comes with its own workbench. Where did I put that box cutter? Never find the box cutter when you need it. I guess we'll just use this. That should do it. Man, please don't tell me this guy does unboxing videos now. Well, let's see what's in here. A handsome carrying pouch. Wait, what? No. No, not another charging video. What is this? Gentle. Yeah, we're doing this all one-handed, one-arm banded style. And we all know that what the world needs is more unboxing videos. Well, it looks like an ACEV charger, doesn't it? Why did the Greg buy one? Okay? Why did I go out and buy one of these things? After all, I'm already charging my truck using my DIY methods. And I also happen to have a Chevy Volt wall charger, if you will, or adapter cord right there. All this and more on this episode of Good Enough Garage. Okay guys, so in some seriousness, why did I go out and buy a second charge cord, if you will, if I already had one? So you all know that I'm using a Chevy Volt first gen charger, and this is an OEM Chevy Volt charge cord right here. So did I just want one with a white handle instead of a black one? No, this OEM one is only level 1, okay? And this one here, the new one, is level 1 and level 2. So what the hell does that mean? Level 1 is basically a fancy way of saying 110 volt, 120 volt charger, okay? And level 2 means 220 or 240, okay? And speaking for the States, this one charges at about 1,000 watts, and this one charges 3 times more powerfully at 3,000 watts or so. Technically, it's like 1,100 and 3,300, but those are like max specs during optimal conditions, which we never achieve. So anyway, that's one reason. Level 1 only, and level 1/level 2. And I'll get into more detail on that later, but that's what this plug is for. Just this regular cord here, it looks sort of like a 110, 120, but you see how one of the pins or terminals is sideways, it's horizontal. So that means this is actually a 240 volt plug. And you can drive yourself crazy trying to understand all the different plugs like this. But this cord is really thick. It's as thick as my thumb almost. And it is a 240 volt rated cord and probably rated for higher amps, I think up to 30 amps or whatever. But you can always send less power, lower voltage, lower amps through a heftier cord like this. So this adapter cable allows you to take a level 2 rated cord, extension cord if you will, charge cord, and downgrade it to a level 1. See how this one is clever. This actually has both horizontal prongs and these vertical ones. Am I holding that upside down for the writing? Yeah, maybe. Anyway, so we can charge both. We can plug this in. This plugs into a outlet like your clothes dryer, believe it or not. Obviously, that plug looks different because it's rated for more amps, but it's the same voltage. It's a 240 type of plug. So that was one reason. The second reason why I decided to purchase this is because it has Wi-Fi. And there's an app for that. So I really wanted to know how long it takes me to charge, how fast things are charging. And I have a DIY roll your own charging setup. I'm using Damien McGuire's software running on his VCU. I got that from his GitHub for free. Thank you, Damien. And basically I program it to display some information on a next-gen display, but it's pretty basic. And this, I'm going to see how the Wi-Fi works, but I like data, I like output, I like information, I like screens. I'm not a super geek, but I'm geek enough. So I hope that this will be better than this one, because it will provide me some information as I'm sitting there watching football games. I can see how my vehicle is doing charging at home. Now in public stations, you can get that via something like a ChargePoint or some of the other charging stations and their software. But at home, I didn't have that, and now hopefully I'll have that capability. So I'm going to set this up right quick and let you know how it goes. All right, guys, so here we are, and we have a app installed on the phone. It's this Tuya Smart Life. I can't show it to you at the minute because I'm using the phone to make this video, obviously. It's pretty basic stuff. You know, you take a picture of the square and it takes you to the app store and you download the app and then you fandangle with that for a minute. I happen to have this app before because I was using it with smart plugs. But anyway, you enter your Wi-Fi password and it finds this device. The booklet here is a little bit confusing because supposedly this guy comes in 3 different flavors, and I think I have the basic, and the basic and the middle one here don't have a display, but then the fancy one has this display, and the manual is kind of written as if you had the one with the display. Doesn't really matter. You kind of just have to hold down the A button, and it's one of these multifunction buttons, which I hate multifunction buttons. You know, I want a button that does one thing and one thing only. Anywho, the app found this device, and I started recording because I want to plug it in for the first time here on camera and see what happens. Okay. So we're just going to plug this into the truck. It comes with a massively long extension cord. I think it's like 24 feet or 28 feet. Okay, so it's plugged in. I think that Thunderbolt thing lit up. I'm going to check the app what it thinks, but it shouldn't be doing anything just yet because our charging isn't turned on. I still have to turn on my charging manually by turning the key to the left to the accessory position, but that's kind of how I wanted in my phase 1 of the project. Let's see what the little gizmo thinks. Okay, so the little green light is on this thing that's called the AVC, active vehicle control, I think it's called. That's what allows us to talk to this EVSE. All these acronyms, man, but basically a charging station, if you will. So let me walk over here around to the truck, and I'm going to show you what I do to start the charging. Really, all I need to do is just turn the key to the left, but I like to manually also turn on my next-gen display. It's a little bit of a control freak mentality, but you know, sometimes if I walk away from the truck, I don't need this display on. I only want to references when I need it. So we go down here, turn that over, and then now we'll see if this will start charging. There's a little bit of a handshake going on, a bit of negotiation, if you will. Let's see. So far, it's not looking good. Great. Okay, so I'm back, and it is working, it is charging. Well, the problem is that the app wanted me to swipe right to enable charging, which is kind of silly. So I had to, you know, I stopped recording, went into the app, swapped right, and these numbers immediately kicked off. Now, what I'll be curious to see here is if the app matches these numbers, right? I've learned that, you know, electricity is not as precise as I thought. So I always say that there's a difference between electronics and electricity. So I'm going to see what my app actually says and how it compares to these numbers. Okay, so I just checked the numbers in the app, and the amps match. It thinks it's charging at 12.1 amps or something like that. But on the voltage, it thinks it's charging at 116 volts. So that's what I was talking about. There's going to be a discrepancy. I don't know if there's some sort of a bug in the software that I'm using here, and that's not to badmouth it at all, but sometimes maybe things get messed up in the conversions. But 116 volts versus 112 volts, honestly, when it comes to electricity, this high voltage AC, it's fine. It's the same thing, really. Okay, guys, so now we're going to try level 2 charging. And so I'm simply going to unplug it from the 120, and I'm going to remove the adapter that downgrades this from a level 2 to a level 1. And I think earlier I mentioned that this is a 240 plug. I think this kind is actually rated for up to 20 amps, and this system here will go up to 16 amps. My charger goes up to 12 amps, I think like 12.7 technically, so it's plenty for that. I know that they make better units, but I didn't need that. I just wanted to do the entry level, something that allows me to do level 1 and level 2. And this is a great unit, I think. Initial impressions, it feels like quality product. This darn garden hose here is long, it's plenty long, and it's thick. It doesn't feel flimsy. And you know, the whole thing, I think I got lucky. I hope it lasts. But anyway, now let's try level 2. So for level 2, what we have to do is, in my house, we're going to plug this into the dryer outlet, okay? Okay, so I've extended my dryer outlet. This is a 3-prong dryer. There's also 4-prong. Okay, so I'm going to try to be in the shot and also show you this stuff. So I'm going to plug it in basically to my dryer outlet. But as you can see, this is a different plug. So this is, I think, 240 30 amp, and this is 240 only 20 amp, I think. And so we are going to need an adapter for this. And that's where these things come in. And I actually love this thing because it's orange, so it's kind of like making me think that this is high voltage. But this will plug right into it, okay, like so. And then the other end now can plug into this gizmo. And bam, so we are plugged into my dryer. My dryer will not kick on at the same time because I am using a gas clothes dryer, not a electric one. So it's safe to use this. Okay, and now the other end. This just will simply plug in to the J1772. And now I need to jump rope to get back. And I'm going to go inside the truck and once again fire that up. And I think I have to go into the app and enable charging there in the app. Okay, so let me see if I can record this while jumping into the app. Okay, and here we can see that we are charging at level 2. So you can see what I was talking about, that this is 240 volts, but of course this is reading 236. And that could be attributed to that long extension cord, like 28 feet of it. So that drops some voltage, but it's so minor. I mean, this is so minute. 13.8 amps. I'm going to go check now and see what the app thinks we're doing. So this is pretty spot on. The app thinks we're doing 13.9 amps AC at 241 volts. Okay, but again, just these types of discrepancies are totally normal, and it's working, so I'm happy. I'm going to now be able to tell how long I've been charging for and um, how much energy I've put back into the battery pack, right? How many kilowatt hours I've put back into the battery pack. I'm not sure if this guesstimates my how many miles of range I've put back in. Some charging stations will ask you, hey, what car are you charging? And on the fence on what do I put in there, because my charger is a Chevy Volt, but my battery pack is from a BMW 530e. So if you care to comment, tell me what you would put in and tell these charging stations we're charging. Is it the charger or is it the batteries? So as this is charging at level 2 here, plugged into my clothes dryer extension cord, I remembered a third reason why I bought this unit, and that is that it allows me to do delayed charging. So sometimes what you can do is you can call your electric company and tell them you have an EV, and they can put you on an EV charging plan. I remember when we leased a Nissan Leaf, our electrical company used to have this program where if we charge after 8 p.m., the rates were much lower. And so what delayed charging allows you to do is to kick off the charging after a certain time, obviously. So I think that will be a nice feature. And even if I don't have this program, we still have tiered rates. Okay, so you have the peak rate, which I think is like, I want to say 5 p.m. till 8 p.m., but after 8 p.m., it's off peak. So that's when you want to charge your vehicle. So I may program this app to start charging after 8 p.m. Okay, so that was the third reason. Just wanted to share that with you guys. But I'm pretty happy. Hopefully this unit performs well, and hopefully I can report back and tell you that everything works great and no issues with it. Thanks for watching.